Hello, today's lesson 4.2, is titled Remainders. And so we're going to continue our discussion about division. And so let's look at the investigating materials. So it says materials use counters. Well, if you don't have the little fancy red and yellow counters, you can really use anything as a counter. Pennies, beads, marbles, so anything that you can count. So Andrea and two friends are playing a game of dominoes. There are 28 dominoes in the set. Andrea wants each player to receive the same number of dominoes. Can she divide them equally among the three players? Why or why not? Okay, so it says you can use division to find the number of dominoes each player will receive. So use 28 counters to represent the 28 dominoes each player will receive. So if I use pennies, so we're going to have three circles. Those are going to be the three players, right? Andrea and her two friends. So you basically would just keep sharing the amount of pennies until you used up all your pennies or your counters. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So when I got to the 28th one, I don't have enough to give each of them. So I'm going to set that outside the circles. Okay, so in addition to counters, we could have just drawn circles inside. And so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 in each one right now. Okay, so there's 9 pennies. Actually, I'm using as counters in each of my circles. Well, 9 times 3 is 27. So I didn't have enough to get the 28th one to share evenly. So it was left on the outside. Okay, so let's look at what we do for writing that up then. It says find the number of counters in each group. And so we said there was 9 in each group and 1 that was on the outside. So how many counters are in each group? 9. How many counters was left over? 1. Okay. So this 9 represents what we call the quotient. It's how many dominoes each person would get, and we call this a remainder. So we'd say 9 remainder 1. Okay. So let's see what else we got here on this discussion. So how many dominoes does each player receive? 9. How many dominoes are left over? 1. So explain how the model helped you find the number of dominoes each player received. I could see that each circle had 9 counters. There was 1 outside the group. Because it could not be shared equally. It could not be shared equally as a whole. Can I break it up into a fraction? Yes, and that's a whole other discussion. Okay, but I could see that each circle had 9 counters, and there was the 1 outside that was not being able to be shared equally. So use the counters to represent a set of 28 dominoes. How many players can play dominoes if each player receives 9 dominoes? So what they're basically saying is, in this case, you have 28, and each person has to receive 9, right? Okay, so that's one group of 9. So it's really just the reverse of our question. So that's 27. Okay, and there's going to be one domino left out. So how many players can play? 3 players with one domino left over. Okay, so this question was asking me 27 divided by 9, and our first one was 28 divided by 3. Okay, so let's see if we make sure we understand. 28 divided by 3 was our first one because it was being shared amongst the 3 friends. This question was asking me to share, everybody had to get 9 dominoes. So if they gave each person 9 dominoes, how many players could I have? Well, the 9 and the 3 wound up being the same factors, right? Okay, it just was how it was worded differently in the question. So in my first question, I had to find how many dominoes each person got. In this question, my quotient represents players, not dominoes. All right. When a number cannot be divided evenly, the amount left over is called the remainder. Okay, so that's very important. So use counters to find 39 divided by 5. So again, you can use the 30, you can find 39 counters, 39 pennies, 39 marbles, 39 beads, 39 beans, whatever you need to use counters. I'm actually going to use the 5 circles, okay, because that's what the divide by 5 is, so that I know that there has to be 5 groups. And I'm just going to count by ones until I've used up all 39. And I'm going to represent that with just circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have to give 1 to each group first, so they're even, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. I don't have enough to give everyone another one. So there are 4 left over. So for 39 divided by 5, the quotient is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in each group with a remainder of 4. And you'll see that written as 7R4. 7 remainder 4. So that's the shorthand for it. Okay, so now let's go on to page 149. And so if you have counters, you can continue using them. The dividend is how many counters you need. So here I need 10 counters, and the 3 represents how many groups you're going to break that total into. So for number 1, I'm going to draw 3 circles. Okay. And then I'm going to share until I evenly share all 10, or I have an amount that is left over. So right now I'm at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I can't put 10 there because then it's not even. So that's going to be a lot left on the outside. So we have 3, remainder 1. And 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. So that's how I can check it. Okay, take the divisor, multiply by the quotient, add any remainder, and you should get the dividend. Number 2, 28 divide by 5. So I have 28 total, 28 counters. This is my dividend, my total amount, and the 5 is the divisor, which tells me how many groups I have. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so if you have the counters, you're going to put them equally into 5 piles. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 25 to 28, that's only 3 more. I don't have enough. So I'm going to have 3 on the outside that I can't share. So this one is, how many inside? 5. How many was left over? 3. Does that make sense? 5 times 5, 25, plus 3 more is 28. Yes. Number 3, 15 divide by 6. So the 15 tells me my dividend. The 6 is the divisor. Okay, so the dividend is how many I have to share, and the 6 is how many groups I'm going to break the 15 into. So here it's like saying I have 6 friends, and I have 15 cookies I want to share with my 6 friends, or with 5 of my friends and myself. I want some cookies too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then if I try to go 13, 14, 15, I ran out, right? There's not enough for these 3. So these cannot go there. So that's going to be 3 on the outside, 3 left out. I can't share those equally. So this problem is 2 with a remainder of 3. The remainder, again, is the ones that I can't share equally. They're left over. Okay, so 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 more is 15, and that matches my dividend. Number 4, 11 divide by 3. So I have 11 of something, and I have to share it with 3 groups. So maybe this time I have 11 machines that I have to package into 3 boxes for delivery. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put 1 in each box. There's 1 machine in each box. I have used 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's 6 machines. 7, 8, 9. And then if I try to go 10 and 11, you notice that this one doesn't have one. So I can't add those last 2. So I have 2 left over. So it would be 3 in each group with a remainder of 2. 3, remainder 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 more is 11. Let me go ahead and write that out. 3 times 3 plus 2 equals 11. So we took our quotient, multiplied it by the divisor, and added the remainder. I'll represent remainder as R. Okay. So the quotient times the divisor plus the remainder will give you the dividend. All right, number 5. 29 divided by 4. Okay, well, you know what? Let's start doing. We can count by more than 1, right? Sure, we can. So think of how many 4s would get you close to 30. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Okay, 32 is too big. 7. Let's try 7 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, so 7, 14, 21, 28. Because I counted by 4s and I said I should be able to get 7. That would give me 4 times 7 is 28. And 1 left over. All right, so 7 remainder 1. So again, if we go 4 times 7 plus 1, that should give us our dividend. The 4 was the divisor. The 7 was our quotient. The 1 is the remainder. And 29 was the dividend. Okay. 34 divided by 5. So this time we have 5 groups. We have to share 34. So we can kind of guess rather than just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to be counting by 5s, right? We have 5 groups here. So 5 times what is close to 34? Well, 5 times 6 is 30, right? And 5 times 7 is 35. So I can't put 7 in each one because that would be more than I even have. So it must be 6. So let's try that. 6 in each one. That's 12. That's 18. That's 24. And that's 30. 31, 32, 33, 34. So I can't share the remaining parts of that equally. So I have 4 left over. So in each of my groups, I have 6 with a remainder of 4. 6 remainder 4. 5 times 6 plus 4. 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 4 remainders gives us 34. Okay, number 7, 25 divide by 3. 25 divide by 3. Okay, so if you have counters, we definitely can go 1 in each one until we've shared as many as we can evenly. But I can also go in my head, I can say, well, I know it's going to be something times another factor will get me close to 25. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. 8. 3 times 8 is 24. So that's the closest I can get to 25 without going over. So I'm going to put 8 in each group. So that's 16, 24. 8, 16, 24. And that would leave me 1 that I can't share evenly. So my answer would be 8 remainder 1. 3 times 8 plus 1 is 25. Number 8. So this time it's written a little differently, right? This time it has 20 divided by 7. So this is an equivalent way to write that would be 20 divided by 7. So you might want to say the division house. Sometimes some people will refer to that as the division house. So the 20 is in the division house, and I'm sharing it with 7. Okay. 20 divide by 7. 20 divided by 7. So the 20 is my total. That's the dividend. That's what needs to be shared. The 7 is the divisor. How many I'm going to share the total with. And then this box up here is going to be the quotient, my answer to the division problem. So 7 divided by 20. 20 divided by 7, sorry. 7 circles, because we have 7 groups. And now 7 times what is close to 20? Well, if I go 7, 14, 21, I'm skip counting 7s, right? 21's bigger than what I have, so it can't be that. How many 7s did I count? I only counted 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. But I have to get to 20. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I don't have enough left to share equally. So I'm going to have 6 left over this time. Okay. So this time our answer is 2 remainder 6. Now you'll also notice something. The remainder is always smaller than the divisor. It has to be. You can't have a remainder bigger than the divisor because that means you could have added at least one more set of the divisor. So if I had said 1 remainder 13, I should be able to take 7 more away from the 13. So that's what I'm trying to talk about here, that the remainder must always be smaller than the divisor. All right, 4 into 35. And says draw a quick picture. Okay, so the 4 represents how many groups. The 35 is our total. Do we know a number 4 times something that's close to 35? Well, I know 4 times 10 is 40, so it can't be 10. And 4 times 9 is 36, so that's also too big. So I'm going to try 8. 8, 16, 24, 32. Yes, and that means I have 3 counters left. So we're going to have 8 in each group with a remainder of 3. 4 times 8 plus 3 equals 35. Okay, 4 is the divisor times the 8, which is the quotient, plus 3, the remainder, gives us 35. Fine. Okay, our next one, we have 8 groups. Okay, so 8, and I have to get to 23. Well, 8, 16, 24. 24 is too big, right? I can't get a full 8 in. So I'm going to have 2 in each group. Because there was 2 groups of 8. So there's 8 groups. If I put 2 in each one of those groups, I get 16. Well, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I'm going to be short 7. 7 are left over. They cannot be shared equally. If I had one more 8, if this was 24, it would have been divided equally. So we're going to say 2 with a remainder of 7. 8 times 2 plus 7 should be 23. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 7 more is 23. Number 11. Explain how you use a picture to find the quotient and remainder. Okay, so the number of counters in each circle represents the quotient. Any counters that cannot be shared equally are left over or are the remainders. Number 12. Allison has 46 beads to make bracelets. Each bracelet has 5 beads. How many more beads does Allison need so that all the beads she has are used? Each bracelet has 5 beads. So let's look at this. So if I draw a circle and represent that as a necklace. Okay, well, I know that each one has to have 5. Well, I can just skip count by 5s until I get to 46. So 5, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and I have one bead left over. Okay, so I just put 5 in each group. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45 plus 1. But now let's read the question carefully. How many more beads does Allison need so that all the beads she has are used? Well, right now we have 1 bead left over. So how many more would I have to add to this 1 bead in order to have another necklace? Each necklace has to have 5. So I have to add 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd have to add 4 more beads. She needs 4 more beads. She has 1 left over, and it takes 5 beads to make a necklace. Not a necklace, a bracelet. Okay. So in explanation, she needed 4 more beads, right? We saw that. We saw that each group has 5. She only had 1 bead left over, so she'd have to add 4 more to get to 5. All right, 13. For 13A, 13D, decide whether the division expression has a remainder. So remember that this means that you'll be able to share the divisor evenly into, there'll be an equal amount in each group. So can we skip count 9 and say 36 when we're skip counting by 9? Well, let's see. So 36 divided by 9. Now I'm just going to skip count by 9. You can draw it out. You can use counters if you need to. 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. 27 plus 9 is 36. So yes, that would have no remainder. Tell whether the division expression has a remainder. This one does not have a remainder, because if 4 9s would equal 36. Okay, how about 23 divided by 3? Well, let's skip count 3s. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Well, I passed 23, and I never counted. I never said 23 when I was counting. So this one has to have a remainder. It would be 7 remainder 2. Okay, how about 82 divided by 9? Well, so we already have 4 of our numbers. So 36 plus 9 is 45. 45 plus 9, 54. 54 plus 9, 63. 63 plus 9, 72. 72 plus 9, 81. 81 plus 9, 90. Well, I passed the 82, didn't I? And I never said 82. So this one has to have a remainder. In fact, it would be 9 remainder 1, because 9 times 9 is 81. And 7 into 28, or 28 divided by 7. 7, 14, 21, 28. Oh, I match. And so there's nothing left over. I had 4 7s. So no, there's not going to be a remainder for for that one. All right, let's go to 150. On page 150, what's the heir? Okay. Macy, Kaylee, Maddie, and Rachel collected 13 marbles. They want to share the marbles equally. How many marbles will each of the 4 girls get? How many marbles will be left over? And so it says here, Oscar used a model to solve this problem. He says the model represents 13 divided by 4. What is his error? So the circles represent the girls, okay? And the marbles represent how many marbles each girl gets. So 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 5 marbles left over. There's 5 marbles left over. That's bigger than my divisor. That means I should have been able to put one more marble into each. I should have been able to give one more marble to each girl. So find and describe his error. Oscar could have given one more marble to each girl. Draw the correct model. So we have 4 circles. The 4 circles represent the girls. Okay, so we have 4 girls, and we need to share 13 marbles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And now I have 13. So I can't put one marble here, so there's going to be 1 marble left over. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 marbles. So each of the girls will get 3 marbles, and there's going to be 1 left over. Okay. So that's really it as far as our discussion about beginning division with remainders. A remainder is simply something left over that cannot be shared evenly when dividing. Because when we divide into groups, we want each group to be equal. Okay, so any amount that cannot be shared equally is a remainder. And we said that the remainder must be, the amount that's left over must be smaller than the divisor, the number of people being shared with. Okay, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about interpreting the remainder. So what does the remainder mean? And until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.